Let's catch up on Stalingrad Pocket 2, Operation Uranus. We finished the fourth turn, November 25 to 26. Hmm. I can't say it's devastating to the Germans yet. Some of their better reinforcements are yet to come, although they seem to get somewhat of a steady flow, but all the Russian units are still initially heavy, and I don't see a ton of supersized units over there. I see that armor right there. I don't know what else is underneath there. We had a balance of air this turn, 5 and 5. The weather was fog. Stalingrad still being held by the Germans, and I said, well, maybe if I bring some German armor back over here and thwart these units on the backside of Stalingrad, because they're not real potent, that can eliminate some of the pressure, maybe free up some units to come back down here and stop this. So I moved this armor unit over here, and you can see he's been reduced because he's lost 2 steps. He failed. He rolled a freaking 3 in that attack on that, and he had a determined attack marker on there. So I'm not gonna lie, this turn here for the Germans had to be the biggest piece of shit die rolls I think I've had this entire game. Pardon my French. And I didn't conduct more than 2 attacks. Over here to the, you really need to put the, over here to the east or southeast, the Russians were able to get this unit back in supply because he came down and attacked under a determined attack marker and destroyed the one unit, German unit, that was left over here. So he was able to get out and get back into supply. And then I said, okay, well, we'll send this German armor, and there's a big 6 unit underneath here to attack him with a determined attack marker. Again, they rolled a stinking like a 5 or something. It was a no result, so nothing happened there, and they lost the determined attack. I need to do better use of the air. Here, moving back towards Stalingrad a little bit, the Russians had pushed into this corner here, and I had to bring alert units in to come in here and off the headquarters unit here and spread these guys out. You know, I got that armor in a bad spot right there, but you got to defend. And I don't have any, unless I want to stick artillery, which really I don't have anything in this area. I got to hope that some of these reinforcements that are down this way get up here. It's like 1 or 2 units, so it's not all that. Some armor over this way, a couple of battalions or something over this way that are coming on, but they're not real potent. But I don't see the Russians, like I say, jumping all over Stalingrad, because that's still pretty sturdy in there. And I'm actually wondering if I could actually pull a unit or 2 out of here. Does this even sound familiar to all the shifting that had to be done because of Stalingrad? I mean, and of course I was thinking about, well, why not give up Stalingrad? Well, I wasn't paying attention. The victory conditions are for the Germans. Points for the Germans, not the Russians. So there's 5 or 6 hexes in Stalingrad. If you give those up, I think there's 5 hexes. If you give those up, then a 6 or less is a massive Soviet victory. So I mean, if they were to give those up and hang on to everything else, they're still going to lose. So they kind of got to hold on to them. So that means I'm not going to do a whole lot of shifting in there. You move over, start moving towards the northwest a little bit. Did you see the Germans? They're okay. They got the hills to work with here. A little bit below here, though, we're going to run into some problems right here. Unless we can do some damage to these Russian units. I got to come up with a strategy for this one here. I don't have any reinforcements that I can get there. Like I said, I got to check them as they come on each turn, and we'll see. But the Soviets got that nice 15 strength of armor right there. And I think that's a 5 strength. But the 2 of them together they can just wreak havoc around here. I mean, they could start the cutoff of Stalingrad as it is. So I wish I could say I had stuff to shift there, but I really don't, unless I want to give up stuff in other places. And I mean, you can't just give them all the southern and southwestern victory conditions, because like I say, it if it's 6 or less, it's Soviet marginal. So you just can't let them roll in there. You know, you leave Stalingrad to the Germans. If you did that and the Soviets take everything else, you're going to cut Stalingrad off anyhow, and they're going to start to suffer attrition. Whether or not that can happen, I don't know. You can't do specific point defense in this game because most of the waterways can be crossed by all the units. Artillery moves a little slow, and the Soviets are going to be next, not this coming turn, but the turn after, they're going to get all their Katyusha rockets back, and I'm sure that's going to be devastating. All right, so let's slide down the line here, get farther over here to the west. 21st Army, 5th Tank Army, and the 1st Guards Army, they're making some headway. Okay, they did about 3 overruns over here in this area. Took out some units in here, but the thing about this is in SCS, you conduct an overrun and you stop. But, you know, you can regularly attack if there's somebody still next to you. So they didn't do nothing here. I think they caused a 1-step loss here. They didn't defeat this little army unit by himself, or this one here. He was able to move out and come back. Y'all can't even see that. Yeah, you can. So this armor unit here, I'm slowly pulling these guys back. They're in a good position there, and the Soviets haven't been able to damage them. This group here on these hills, and up above here on these hills too. And then down here in the corner where I was pulling back, I got this unit's kind of trapped over here by himself. But we just got 4 more infantry units and an artillery unit came in. So that freed up these 2 infantry units to get over here and get into some defensive posture. I'm not really sure what to do over here, whether just to pull back on this river line right about here and maybe give up 2 victory points. I mean, like I say, with the victory point schedule, I don't want to give up anything as the Germans. I certainly hope that the units that come on, which, I don't know, some of them look like they're decent strength. Not super powerful. A lot of them are not Germans. They're Axis allies, and you know they're not all that grand. So just have to see if the Germans can sort of slow this progress here without taking too much of a beating, and hopefully they get some units and they can start to match up better with the strengths of some of the. I mean, the Germans have some armor units that are great on the attack, but they're not worth a crap on defense. Like I say, I'm already having to throw artillery in the line for defense. So, but some of the German units, like their mechanized infantry, they've got decent attack factors and they've got really, really good defense factors. Their armor's really no different, except for their armor, they'll have like 3 5s. The Germans only have 1 super, super duper armor, and that's 24th Panzer sitting right there, and he's got 2 6s. And then there's an independent 5 strength unit. So he's a great attack force. But boy, if they get surrounded by a couple of Soviets with determined attack markers, they can get devastated. Plus, like I say, you roll 2 3s and 4s in these combat tables. If you're not 10 to 1 or 10, 11, or 12 to 1, there's a chance you're going to take a 2-step loss. So you got to kind of watch that. All right, so that's the end of the 25th to 26th turn. Just do a quick spread here. Soviets are building pressure in the southeast or the southwest. Actually, in the west period, they're starting to build up pressure. These guys are going to have to go here before long. Yeah, we're probably going to end up losing these 2 locations over here. Or, depending on what happens, if the Russians get broken out over here, they might sweep down and take these locations down in here. Yeah, I think for the victory conditions, you got to hold Stalingrad. I really do. I don't think you can give that up. 5 hexes. So that would leave the Germans with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 11 would be a minor German victory. So yeah, I guess you could give up Stalingrad. But God, it seems like that's so easy to defend, especially if you can dust off this stuff right here, which I've not been lucky. Didn't even hurt that unit right there next to them. They took a 2-step loss. So, all right, well, we'll see how this develops. Like I said, that's the end of the 23rd or 25th to 26th turn, which was turn 4 of the game out of 16. All right, so let's get this thing posted and move on to the next turn and get you updated on that. Probably play some TBL tomorrow. Try to get a turn of that in and get that posted. All right, talk to y'all soon.